Hi, thanks for stopping by and checking out one of our videos. Real quick, you can find much more training for a low price at softwarevideo.com. We've been training people since 1994. We have online memberships for as low as a startup fee is 99 cents for 7 days or just $14.95 per month for unlimited training and access 24/7. Or you can buy it on DVDs. You can see what our new releases are. You can find us by software title, by subject, by vendor. And up here at the top through our film strip, you can go by our little characters here, graphic design, Illustrator, and so forth. I'm going to scroll down here. Here's our memberships. Very affordable. They make great gifts. So check it out and enjoy this free lesson on this topic.
Let's talk about live effects now. Live effects in Illustrator are just your effects. If you look here in your menu, you'll see an effect button. What we're going to do is we're going to apply. I'm going to go click that and show you. These are your effects here. And Illustrator calls them live effects simply because in your appearance panel is how you're going to manipulate them once you have chosen them. It's just a little bit different method of working with them than some other Adobe programs, but this one's really important to know. So first off, we know that nothing's going to happen unless we have our object selected. Remember, no, it doesn't matter what you see in your appearance panel. If that object is not selected, let's go ahead and show you again. I can move the fill layer, for instance, on top of everything, and nothing's going to happen because as soon as I select my object, this fill layer is going to move back down to where I had it because Illustrator said, yeah, you might have wanted to move it, but it's not going to happen. We'll just set that up for the next object that I'm going to draw. So that's another thing Illustrator will do automatically for you as well. You got to remember to keep your object selected. Let's go to Effect, and let's go ahead and stylize this. Let's go ahead and add a drop shadow. It's the simplest one. You're going to get a dialog box that opens. I'm going to choose Preview so I can actually see what it's going to do. And you can see the drop shadow here. It's already kind of affected it. I'm going to bring the opacity up a little bit so we get a better idea of what it's going to look like. And I'm going to offset it a little more. And offset it, bring it down a little more. Remember, your X and Y axis is your how you manipulate your effects. It's either up or down, left or right, not positive or negative, basically. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And you're going to see it now here in the appearance panel. And this is how you want to manipulate this object now. So if you wanted to manipulate it, you would have to click on the drop shadow and it would come right up for you. And this is when we can bring this down so it looks more realistic as a drop shadow and click OK. And basically what's going to happen is Illustrator is going to take this and it's going to apply it to the actual effect now. And you can see it lightened up much more. It looks more realistic, more like a drop shadow would look. And again, it's also targeting. So obviously I have it selected, so I'm actually targeting that as well. Okay, so what else can we do? Well, we just created a drop shadow using the effects menu. There's other things we can do. Let's go ahead and highlight our stroke layer now. Let's choose this 8-point stroke that I kind of made dashed. If you remember, I'll choose it for you to show you. I just pushed the stroke button and I created the dashes, if you remember, and I added a shape to them, a specific shape and so on, and an arrow to it. That's all I did. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this. And now I want to do something else. Let's go to the bottom of our appearance menu and let's choose the effects this way. See, there's two ways to get to the menu. You can use the menu up here or you can use the FX menu down here. Let's go back to Stylize. This time let's choose Scribble. Look what Illustrator does. I choose the preview button so I can preview my object and I can control how much of a scribble I have. So now you can see my artwork's really getting neat. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK now. And look at the things I'm able to do by using the appearance panel. Without the appearance panel, I could not do this to individual parts of the object. For instance, my two strokes that I created from down here, I created a new stroke. I created the drop shadow. I moved the fill, remember, above the black stroke. So you can actually move your fill above the stroke. And as you can see here, look what's happening. And I can move it above the strokes if I choose to get a completely different effect. but yet underneath the yellow ones still kind of is a border for me. So you can only do that with your appearance panel. And another thing about the appearance panel is once you create an effect, you got to remember how Illustrator is using this panel. And I didn't mention this earlier, so I want to mention it now, is the effects are applied from bottom to top. So essentially, if I was to take, let's say, this scribble effect, and I grab this scribble effect here, and I'm going to go ahead and just highlight it, and I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to pull it up to the very top of everything here, and I'm going to release it. What it's going to do is the effect would basically affect everything below it. This particular one is not going to do too much because it's a scribble effect. Let me see if I can show you a better example. Since we're above everything, it's really not doing much. Let's bring the scribble down one. So both the strokes will have the scribble now, for instance. So let's go ahead and release it. And the red and the yellow basically should have the scribble. The yellow is not shown. Scribble example is not really a good example because it's actually taking the path, now that I'm looking at what we're doing, and applying it to the actual stroke. The best way we can show you what this can do is we're going to go ahead and create, let's go to our black stroke layer. Let's go ahead and create a rounded corner effect. That one's really going to show more. So once I show the rounded corner, I'm going to click preview. And I see that it rounded the corners quite a bit. I'm going to enlarge this a little bit and click OK. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and grab this, and you're going to see everything change at this point. Nothing will be there. All the corners are rounded, so all the yellow, basically, let me go ahead and hide that. If you notice here, the yellow is sticking out just as square as the black is. So if I go ahead and show that, you're going to see everything go rounded, including the red. Okay, so let me show, do it again. I'm going to click out here. You can see how the red is also very square. But as soon as I turn this attribute back on, you'll see how everything has become rounded. So it's basically why we call them live effects, is they will affect everything below it, and what could happen, like for instance with our scribble, you may not notice it as much. One more thing is you don't have to go in and create the same thing. If you figured out that your scribble is perfect, you can just duplicate it, okay? So you just highlight and target that specific effect and duplicate the effect, and you can simply drag it up at this point and drop it, and you'll get the effect basically copied that way. It's the best way to do it if you're going to do that. Other than that, that's live effects. They're very powerful and very potent.